now for Ben's Metropolitans. The Mets have an abundance of money, and they need to finally start taking that money and making it turn into wins. They did go to the NLCS against the Dodgers a couple years ago, then missed the playoffs. But even the year they went to the NLCS, that was through the power of friendship and OMG. So when are they finally going to be a – I'll start off with this question before I get into what – is this the year that they're finally expected to be good and will be good, or is it going to be the trade-off of they won't be good? Like they weren't expected to be much in 24 and then went to the NLCS. They're expected to do a lot of good things last season and fell short. Do we think they have a team that can put it together now, projected to be good and can be good?
Can be good. What defines good? Playoffs? NLCS? World
Let's go.
Series?
This isn't going to be your prediction. I won't hold it to you, but is this a team that can win the division, get a top 2 seed in the National League, and really compete for the World Series?
I mean, they absolutely can.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about the fact that they can do that. Bichette, Lindor, Soto to open up a lineup is disgusting as can be. The potential that you have out of guys like Luis Robert, Marcus Semien, Francisco Alvarez, some of that's obviously, for Semien. Does he have one more great year left in him? Robert, now that he's freed from the hell that is the Chicago White Sox, does he get back to producing and having fun playing baseball? Can Alvarez or Vientos put together a really strong power season that we know they have the potential to? Then you look at the starters. Peralta, I know we've kind of talked about this at different points. I think I'm the highest on him out of the three of us, but I think he's a top 10 starting pitcher in baseball today. Then you got Peterson, Holmes, McLean, Manaea, Senga, Tong, guys that I like that fill out that rotation. Devin Williams, of course, because he left the Yankees to go to the Mets, he's going to go back to being an elite closer. This is predetermined, pre-written. Luke Weaver will probably be fantastic. I like Tobias Myers. I like Raleigh. I like Minter. All the pieces are there for the Mets. There's no doubt about that. You got to produce on the field now.
I think offensive-wise, I think they're pretty solid, and that can be
the lineup's got to be the best in the division from a pure batting standpoint.
Absolutely. It has to be at least in the argument, if not leading the argument.
My thing is just with their pitching depth, especially for the bullpen and the starting pitcher. Because, like Freddie Peralta is good. He's their ace, solid pitcher, no doubt about that. But when you start going after him, it starts to get, as you go down in the rotation, it gets shakier and shakier. And then, and Devin Williams, I'm just saying, that's definitely, what everyone to say is definitely a downgrade from Edwin Diaz.
Edwin Diaz is the best reliever in baseball.
I'm just saying.
Right. I'm just saying, I think there's a world where Devin Williams just shoves. My biggest concern for this team is the defense.
Well, here,
Bichette at third.
Before we get into that, let's go through their additions and all that, because I do have a question that I need to ask you guys. So they added in free agency MJ Melendez, outfielder from the Royals, 1 year for 1.5. Luis Garcia, a reliever, 1 year for 1 3/4. Bo Bichette to play third base, 3 for 126. Luke Weaver, reliever, 2 years, 22. Jorge Polanco to play first base, 2 years for 40. Devin Williams, a reliever, 3 for 51. They traded for Freddie Peralta from Milwaukee, Luis Robert from the White Sox, Marcus Semien from the Rangers, Vidal Brujan they got from Minnesota. And then they traded away Ryan Helsley. Ryan Helsley left to go to Baltimore. Nick Madrigal left to go to the Angels. Jorge Castillo, he left and still a free agent out there. They also lost Starling Marte to Kansas City. Jesse Winker is a free agent still. Ryan Stanek to St. Louis. Cedric Mullins to Tampa Bay. Griffin Canning to San Diego. Tyler Rogers to Toronto. Gregory Soto to Atlanta. Max Kranick, he's still a free agent. Danny Young, he went to Atlanta. Drew Smith, like we said earlier, went to Washington. Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. Pete Alonso to Baltimore. And then they traded away Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams to Milwaukee in that Freddie Peralta trade. Jeff McNeil went to the A's. Brandon Nimmo went to the Rangers in a Marcus Semien swap. And Luis Angel Acuna, he was the centerpiece of the Luis Robert trade. So now with all that said, I think the thing that I'm really curious about with this team, they hired a lot of middle infielders to play a lot of non-middle infield positions. So will the second base heavy team that's all playing out of position work?
Hey, Simeon's in position.
Simeon and Lindor are in position.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Polanco is not. Bichette is not.
I know Twitter is Twitter, but Bichette hasn't looked good at third base on Twitter. Jorge Polanco at first, not your typical first baseman, not necessarily the size. And, for a guy in Bichette who maybe have some errant throws, you'd probably like a lengthier first baseman to capitalize, be able to work with on that. Simeon at second, I don't know how great he is anymore. If we're just calling a spade, I have to be honest. As I'm sitting here looking at the Mets projected lineup, Simeon would be my DH, Bichette would be at second, and Vientos or Beatty would be playing third in their position. Or if Vientos was the guy, maybe Vientos at first and Polanco at third. I don't believe where we are today is where the Mets infield will end the season, even if everybody is healthy.
I just don't think playing that many guys out of position is the recipe for long-term success.
I also question Juan Soto in left defensively.
Yeah, that too. He's not known to be a great defender. And then playing a guy that's only played right field virtually in left.
And then Luis Robert is decent in center, but you'd like somebody to be elite in center if Soto's in left. So I don't know how much it'll kill him over the course of 162, but in the big games and important games where every little play really matters, this would be my main concern for a Mets team in a playoff run. Are you going to just be out executed in terms of playing baseball? It was famously said by the Dodgers that was their game plan to beat the Yankees 2 years ago in the World Series. Force these guys to play baseball. It feels like that could be a similar strategy when playing this Mets team.
What's a real head scratcher is I remember watching the winter meetings and they were talking about the Mets and they said the Mets wanted to go really heavy on defense this free agency. And it seemed like every move they made seems to be counterintuitive to what they wanted to go into free agency doing. So I'm not really sure what happened, what the plan there was.
Yeah, I'm not so sure either. That said, though, still a killer lineup.
The lineup's killer, but you started.
I mean, the amount of runs they're going to score, I guess they could afford to give some errors up, right?
But with a pitching staff anchored by Peralta and Senga, is the 3-4-5 going to be enough to keep them afloat? You have a lot of young guys.
I like McLean, man.
McLean, I'm going to pretend today didn't happen in the WBC.
He didn't give up 2 home runs.
He has been electric last season. He was awesome. And then my favorite of what was the trio, now the duo, is Jonah Tong. I think he
got sent down to AAA, though.
I know, but the comparisons to Tim Lincecum are spot on. I think he's got just such nasty stuff. And then they still have Frankie Montas to do whatever Frankie Montas does.
I think Clay Holmes.
If they get anything, I know he's hurt. Clay Holmes is there.
Yeah.
Holmes, I still think, is better suited for the bullpen. But he's going to end up being their 3, I think, to at least start. But you'd rather get the young guys in there at some point with more, higher leverage spots.